my Wonder Woman. Every time I get associated with Natalie, I'm utterly amazed. But knowing her background and the roots that she comes from, it comes by naturally. And then I got to see Georgette. I haven't seen her in a while, and she told me that that she is now risen. She's a liberated woman. She doesn't have her long pigtail anymore. She might tell you a little bit about that as we go forward. Today is really the beginning, again, of something that we're going to continue to talk about until September the 21st and even beyond that, because we're going to have an opportunity to do something that's unique in Montgomery, maybe a first in Montgomery. We're going to be able to join a national movement for peace within Montgomery. Natalie has come with this concept, and while she approached us a while back about another concept, we haven't abandoned that one, but she's a pretty smart young lady. She finds where there are alternatives, and she drives through the crack in those alternatives. But this is a unique opportunity. We want everyone to know about it, and we appreciate the media help with this, because it's not an issue of trying to get people involved as much as it is knowing about this and the benefits of what's going to happen. And this is but a first step. As a matter of fact, it's a second step, because we started about 6 weeks ago, I guess, with the first conflict resolution that the Montgomery Police Department put on, very, very, very successful. This is Peace with MGM, September 21st. We have a young artist peace exhibit this morning that we're going to congratulate young people from not only Montgomery, from Baldwin and MTech, I guess it was, but also from Washington, all the way from Washington. I found out that maybe be a protege of yours that's just housed out there along the way. But Natalie, if you will come and talk a bit about what we're doing this morning, and maybe use that as the backdrop and the jump-off point for Peace with MGM. Natalie, come on, Natalie. I've told you a number of times, she really was the centerpiece of our 50th celebration with our youth. The really great story, I don't know whether you've ever told this story or not, but we had gotten a new police chief, and so he just wanted to be just a regular old person. And so he kind of dressed the regular old person part. And he was kind of hanging out with the youth there for a couple of 3 days, and then at the third or fourth day, when it all came together, what they call him, Mr.
E.
Mr. E, yeah, Mr. E during the week, and then on Thursday, I guess it was, at a big breakfast, he came in all his stars with his uniform on, and they found out that Mr. E was in fact Chief Ernest Finley. So that was really a neat thing, and I know you'll have a surprise or two for this event as well. So Natalie Magruder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to all of you for coming today. We are so, so proud to have these students that are sitting here to my left, and each and every one of them took up this mantle to think about peace, to think about what they envision for their city here in Montgomery, and to put that into this art that you see before you. And if you haven't had a chance to really take a look at it, please do, because it is amazing. And they've put their heart and their souls and their talent into each and every one of these pieces. So we started this contest actually last fall, and Georgette Norman, who the mayor mentioned, is a great advocate for art in our community here. And she knows the value of inspiring young people, not just through the classroom and through the textbooks, but also engaging their minds through art and music and creativity. And so we are just so thankful that people in this community thought that the Young Artists for Peace contest was worthy. One special thing that I'd like to announce is that yesterday, Montgomery Public Schools gave a proclamation announcing September 21st as MPS Peace Day. And so we have that proclamation here as well to honor that. And all of these students, with the exception of one of the pieces, which actually did come from Washington State. We had a student who sent their submission from Washington because we opened this up. But with the exception of that one student, we have all of this talent coming from right here in our city. So when people say things about what they want Montgomery to be and what they don't see here, we are challenging that perspective, right? We're challenging that perspective, showing young people who have taken their time to think about what peace looks like. So what I'm gonna do is have Georgette come up. We're going to acknowledge our winners, as well as the young people who have come today. We have certificates for each of them, and so we would ask that the mayor come up at this time and just allow all of us to publicly acknowledge and thank these young people for their commitment to their city and to this idea of peace.
Thank you, Natalie, Mr. Mayor. Before I call their names, I just want to say that we are about to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the boycott. And while we talk about the boycott, we don't talk about the gift that the people of Montgomery gave this country. And that was the gift of nonviolent resistance, peace. When we walk into a room that's dark, we flip a switch, the light goes on, and we can see clearly. Around the country now, not only in Montgomery, we are with a lot of darkness. There's violence, there's crime, drugs, all these kinds of things. And we're bombarded with it every day on television, in the news, just walking down the street, and it's very fear-based. People of Montgomery decided to commit to something that they'd never heard about, and they acted on it. We wanted to again shine that light from Montgomery, to begin to emit peace, begin to talk about it, shine that light, to begin to eat up some of the darkness. And with that, we want to present our logo winner, Nicholas Yeed.
If you don't mind, I hate to do this to you, but could you step to the mic, because everybody wants to be able to hear, and talk a bit about your creation?
I really wanted to create something that everyone could relate to with imagery, you know, what they've already seen, and bring it up in a way that they haven't seen it before. The dove is a very known symbol of peace, so I went with that knowledge, and the peace within is kind of shown in the emblem with the dove coming out of the circle. You know, it's the peace within, and it's also missing the peace logo.
Is that the olive branch?
Yes, that is also the olive branch.
Great. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you go to?
I used to go to Impact. Graduated.
Oh, good. Super. What are you doing now?
Finding a job.
Oh, come on, man. Well, tell, you got an opportunity to find a job right now. Congratulations, Nicholas.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Next, we have Jalen Lee.
Jalen, which one of these is yours? Where you go to? Impact. We don't call it impact anymore. It's impact. Can we swap?
Next, we have Pearl Consenbach. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Congratulations.
Pearl, where do you go to? Baldwin. Great. Is that the parents back there? Maybe you just move out of the way. And what grade are you? Eighth grade. Muslim.
You can. Next, we have Annie Shaw.
Plant coming out of the gun. Did you have a dream? Where did you go to school? What grade is this? Eighth grade.
And now, Kobe Bethel.
Kobe, this is obviously suitable for Frankie. What impact? What grade are you in? 11th grade. So you got one more year. Where you go to school? University. You gonna play football? Basketball. That's great. Congratulations.
Sharice Crook.
Congratulations. And where do you go to school? Impact. And what grade are you? And what are you gonna do next year? Are you really? That's great. And what are you gonna do with forensic science? You're gonna work at the crime lab, huh?
Alana Johnson.
Alana, where do you go to school? BTW. What grade are you in? Ninth grade. So you're not sure what you're gonna do next year other than go to school, right? What's your area of study? An anime, a cartoon anime. Good.
Camille Farrell.
Okay, Camille, where do you go to school? BTW. What grade are you in? Ninth grade.
And Targa Lawrence.
They told me you were in a big program. Yes. That's good. Light and heart? Good. I want to ask you a question. Would you go to my car? I want you to tell everybody what we got out of the ticket. Go to the microphone and talk about that. It's what you call putting somebody on the spot.
Well, out of our spring break vacation we have for the 50th anniversary, I learned that they've been through a lot. And I realized that now that as children we need to better ourselves because as soon as we get older and our parents are still living, we should be able to have that feeling that they've been going through since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We should be able to feel what they've been going through after all that time, all that pain, all the slavery they've been going through. And what I think of it is this: we should really settle down. We should really know what we want to do when we grow up, because life is hard, and life is really hard, and it's going to chew us up and spit us out. And we need to know what we need to do before we even get to the next level.
Your future, guys. Congratulations, Tiger. That was good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Let's give them all a round of applause. I also want to say thank you so much to the parents for bringing your children here this morning, and letting people know that parents do really care, that they do care about their young people, and they are really supportive. And also remember that there was a song some years ago during the freedom and justice movement, and it said, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." Begin to think now about spreading light throughout the darkness. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. And just a last note, we want to share that while Peace Within MGM, the conference we're hosting on September 21st, is going to be a small group, invite-only session to create that first conversation, we are actually inviting all students and MPS through that proclamation that I mentioned earlier. We are doing a Peace Day challenge. And so at 8 a.m. on September 21st, we are challenging each and every one of you in this room to do your own challenge. Find something personal to you that you will affirm to do something here in Montgomery, and I'm looking at you, my young people, as well, right? And so when you do that, take your picture and use the hashtag Peace Day Challenge and also hashtag Peace Within MGM and show the world what Montgomery is doing on the International Day of Peace. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Appreciate it.
Georgette, when you were speaking, I couldn't help but think that the lessons of history are not well learned today in our society, and a good history lesson might go a long way to help. Georgette retired over a year ago, I guess, as a curator of the Rosa Parks Museum, and I was just told yesterday that because of the activities that the Rosa Parks Museum, Troy, as well as our Montgomery Police Organization, putting the curriculum at policing in a historic city, NPR is doing a national piece on the success of that, and they're in town today and tomorrow to interview various and sundry individuals. And I'm looking at Chris. You might make that known to the people that are here. Perhaps Georgette, tell Chris Murphy, because I think he's driving that train. Maybe she'd be a nice one to have them interview, because it's one of those success stories that it's not a program, it's just a culture, it's just a way of life. And so I appreciate what you've done to help, and I appreciate what you're doing here too. Glad to see you have lending your talents to the good of our community, particularly with these young people. So congratulations to each and every one of you, and we look forward to great things happening in the future. We used this platform a couple of weeks ago to talk about the Biscuits baseball and the attendance that we needed to have for the last series. I attended one of the games, then I was out of town, and I did see that we had over 5,500 people there on one of the nights at the close of the season. We ended up season on a winning note against Birmingham, and tonight, I guess it is, that we start in Chattanooga with the best of three playoffs. Our game, the first game, they'll play two in Chattanooga, and then they'll come back for the third game here in Montgomery. This is an opportunity on Saturday night, in the face of a lot of football going on, to say to Montgomery how appreciative we are to Sherry Myers and the Biscuits organization, but also to the players who have played extremely well, particularly in the second half. I would love us to have a full house Saturday night along the way. Stacia, you want to come and talk about some of the goodies that we're going to give? Some people would say it's free baseball, but you got to pay something to get in. I know the season ticket holders are getting in half price, and come and talk about some of the other things that are going on. But the message from this podium is we need to support Biscuits baseball on Saturday night. If we win Saturday night, and if we just got to win 3 out of 5 to get to the championship.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Stacey.
Well, we're very excited. The Biscuits have made the playoffs. This is the first time since 2012 we've clinched. It's been an awesome year. If you followed the season, we started the year by winning the 2014 AA Organization of the Year award. We've also been voted the best name in minor league baseball, which has been pretty cool. We then, in the middle of the season, hosted the Southern League All-Star Game. This was only the second time in the history of the Biscuits. It's a once-in-a-decade event, and we had that honor this season. Then, later in the season, we were featured on the Today Show with Al Roker. So that was huge for Montgomery and put us again on the national map. It's been a good season on the field as well. The Biscuits have finished the regular season 77-61, which was the second best team record in the league, second only to Biloxi that only had one more win that we did. We've had some accomplishments among the team. Our pitcher, Jake Feria, he earned the Co-Pitcher Year of the Year award in the Florida State League, and he finished with the most wins in minor league baseball with 17. Two of our guys, Blake Snell and Cameron Seitzer, were named to the 2015 Southern League Postseason All-Stars, and Snell and Seitzer are only the 15th and 16th Biscuits players in the whole history of the organization to be named to that award, and they join Evan Longoria, Kevin Kiermaier, David Price, Desmond Jennings with that award. Pitcher Blake Snell also just yesterday won USA Today's Minor League Baseball Player of the Year, which has been huge. Right now at the major league level, there are 12 players on the Rays active roster that have played with the Biscuits. And there have been 60 former Biscuits that have gone on to play in the majors out of the 12 seasons. So we've had a lot of accomplishments. The last time we won a championship was 2006 and 2007 when we won it back-to-back. And so we're looking to bring that back to Montgomery. We've had a season of successes, and we're ready to continue that. The guys, like the mayor said, start the best-of-5 series tonight in Chattanooga with game 1 and 2, and we will come back to Riverwalk Stadium on Saturday. The game time is 6:35. The gates will open at 5:20. And we will play games 4 and 5 if necessary on Sunday at 5:35 and Monday at 7:05. And then depending on the other series, Pensacola and Biloxi are facing off. When that series ends as well, there'll be a day of travel, and then we'll go right into the championship round. And we'll also host game 3 and then 4 and 5 if necessary in the championship round. So either way, this hometown team will get to win a championship here at Riverwalk Stadium. So it's really exciting, and we just hope that all of you will come out and support us. And football's on earlier in the day, so after your games are over, come out and cheer on the Butter and Blue. We're really excited. So thank you for having us. Excellent. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks for that rundown. I had forgotten about all the successes that you articulated. There was one, though, that, I don't know whether it's Bear Bryant or somebody said, doesn't much matter who came in second, except maybe the second place person. If you'll remember, the Biscuit Stadium, Riverwalk Stadium, came in number 2 to the Birmingham brand new stadium. Ours is 10, 12 years old. So we were pretty proud of that scenario. But please, on Saturday night, 6:35, if you would go out and be a part of that history-making time. Zubilation. Stephen Pierce and Zubidoo, if you guys would dance on up here. I've seen some great coverage about Zubilation I hope it has nothing to do with the fact that my daughter is working on the committee to get that accomplished, but this is for the Stingray exhibit. All the proceeds will go to that scenario. So, Steve, if you would.
Thank you. Just want to tell you about an event that's going on. Actually, it'll be 1 week from today, so it'll be Thursday night, September the 17th, and it's Zubilation. If you've ever been to Zubilation, it's a great adult-only event that's held at night at the zoo, and we kind of look at the zoo as being open for children pretty much throughout the year, but for this particular night, it is for adults only. We have about 30 to 35 different restaurants that'll be coming. We're going to have some specialty bars. In fact, one of the specialty bars is going to serve a one-of-a-kind drink that night called the Blue Stingray, so you definitely want to partake of that. Plus, we're going to have some live music. We're going to have a silent auction, and all the proceeds for that night are going towards to build our new Stingray exhibit and educational facility. If you're not familiar with Zubilation, it's actually hosted by the Montgomery Area Zoological Society, and they are the fundraising arm of the zoo. It's probably one of the favorite fundraising arms of the mayor, because what they do is they try to build funds to expand and grow the zoo without digging into taxpayer dollars. So every bit of money that they raise goes towards building future projects. And to kind of give you an example of some of the things that they have built in the past, if you've been out to the zoo and you've seen our African elephant exhibit, or our new sky lift, or the giraffe encounter, the river otter exhibit, and also our brand new North American alligator exhibit that just opened in August of last year. All of those were built from proceeds that come from this event. So Zubilation does play a very valuable role in being part of the zoo. And to kind of give you an idea of some of our sponsors for this year, Hyundai Motor Manufacturing of Alabama, Rita Sable, Sable Steel, Cumulus Communications of Montgomery, the Montgomery Advertiser, and Alabama News Network are some of our key sponsors for this year. So we're greatly appreciative of them and their support of the zoo. Some of the entertainment that we're going to have is we're going to have Hat Trick is going to be there, DJ at Large, and then something kind of special and unique for this year, we're going to have a lip sync battle. If anyone has seen the Jimmy Fallon lip sync battles, you kind of know what I'm talking about. We're going to get some celebrities that are here in town to kind of participate in this. So if you know JT and Leanne from Cumulus, they're going to take on Ryan Stenick and Olivia Dees from Alabama News Network. And if we get lucky, we might even pull the mayor into this a little bit too. We won't be lucky, but oh well. So, and then
I have to be out of town. When is this now?
it's next Thursday. Okay. You have to be here. You're giving out checks.
Yeah, right.
So also part of that night is due to the fact that we are in the midst of football season here, we are also going to have an Alabama-Auburn trivia contest. So again, just something to kind of keep the crowd going and everyone having a great time. Like I said, all the proceeds go towards our new Stingray exhibit. And so if you'd like to come out and join us, tickets are $50 a piece. That's per person. You do have to be 21 years or older to attend, and you can purchase tickets online at montgomeryzoo.com, or you can come out and buy your tickets at the zoo, or if you're on Maxwell, you can buy it at their ITT location. So we'd love to have everyone come out and see Zooby-Doo, and just have a great time visiting the zoo. And like I said, it's an adult-only event, and you guys can have a great time at the zoo as well.
Zooby, what do you got to say about that? All right, Steve.
All right,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
I appreciate that. The $50 gets you all the food you can eat, gets you some adult beverages, and a lot of fun. So encourage you to come out, and yes, I will be there. Cynthia, this lady is becoming famous at our press conferences because she's always so nicely dressed. Cynthia Millage is our spokesperson for the museum. Let me just say this about, we got our budget hearing this afternoon at 4 o'clock with the city council. And the zoo, the library, as well as the museum are funded in part by the general fund, but only in part, because so much of the dollars that go to run these venues that are off general fund I'm looking at Barry over here, really have gone down. But the funds have gone up because there's more work being done in the private sector to bring in contributions and donations and events like this. And what's going to happen at the museum is just but one example of that. So thanks for being here, Cynthia.
Thanks, everyone, and thank you, Mayor, for allowing us the opportunity here at the museum to talk about the events. For once, we're having a first at the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts. This is the first ever docent orchestrated as well as formatted exhibition that we're having. And it kicked off a couple of weeks ago, but we're trying to get the public to come out and see it because it's the first time that we've ever had docents to organize an exhibition. And this particular exhibition, even though it's put together by docents, in case you all are wondering what docents are, they're actually the volunteers at the museum who give the tours, tell people about the history of the museum, and guide around on their own free time. So we definitely appreciate them. But we have an exhibition right now called Journey Through the Collection, Docent Choices. And basically, it's composed of artwork by area students, past and present, that's now in our museum education collection, about 54 of those works that are on display at the museum. And we're encouraging people to come out and look at those exhibitions at the museum. And the great part about all of this is the docents have taken part and done all of this firsthand themselves, and they're even going to have events every Tuesday at noon. The events are called gallery talks, and it's a great way to come out and spend your lunch break. You could come out there, listen to the docents for about an hour or so, and they're explaining different facets of this exhibition. This exhibition is broken up into 5 different parts, and just next Tuesday at noon, they're going to have a gallery talk, and that portion is called Remembering the Past. So if you are interested in coming out there to learn about the docents and see them firsthand and see this exhibition for yourself, feel free to go ahead and call in. That number to call is 334-240-4365. We also have another fall exhibition that kicked off with this one, and this one is called William Christenberry Tracing a Line. This one here is put together through our people at the museum, but this one focuses on an artist from Alabama by the name of William Christenberry. He's from Hale County, and he's very well known for his photography as well as his sculpture. So we encourage you all to come out to see these exhibitions. If you don't get a chance to come out to the gallery talks that I mentioned that will take place every Tuesday throughout the month of September at noon, feel free to come by and see the exhibitions daily. They will be there until November. So again, if you all get the chance, come out and visit the museum. Remember, all of the events at the museum are free, so you have no excuse. So feel free to come out at any time during normal business hours.
Montgomery loves free.
Yeah.
And so I want to tell a quick story to validate docents. About 8 months ago, on a Friday afternoon, I decided to have a date afternoon with my wife. And we said, what do we want to do? Well, we went to the museum, and we had a docent to take us through the museum with some of the art that was there normally, but also some of the exhibits. But the docent happened to be Mark Johnson. And it came alive for us for that hour and a half. Yeah, it came alive. So I'm encouraging you to go out on Tuesday this month to get the docent tour because it does, in fact, come alive for you. There's so much that's on that canvas that you see with your eye, but the history behind it. So thank you for doing that.
Okay,
tell Mark maybe he could have a celebrity docent tour one Tuesday.
Okay, hey, be careful because I get him to I'll tell him that, and then he'll require you to come out and be a docent. So
well, I could do that too.
Okay.
All right. One last thing, Dawn, if you would come quickly. We talked about number 2. We never like to be number 2, and right now we are number 2. And so we need the help of everybody out there. We need the media to spread the gospel. But the way you spread the gospel is just like you do any other election. You access your network. You spread it out there and ask your network to go and vote. In this particular case, you can vote early and you can vote often. So, Dawn, if you would talk about our 10 best competition and what the deadline is and how we can make sure we get to be number 1 to go with our best historic city.
Yes, sir. We are, as the mayor said, currently number 2 in the USA Today Reader's Choice Poll for best destination for historic history buffs. Best destination for history buffs. So we are behind Gettysburg. Philadelphia is behind us. Williamsburg's 4. St. Augustine, Florida is number 5. Savannah, Georgia is number 6, and so on. We don't need to know about them. But what we want you to do is go out and go to 10best, the number 10, best.com, and vote. You can vote from, if you have multiple cell phones, you can vote from every one of them. If you have an iPad, you can vote from that. A tablet, you can vote from that. Desktop, you can vote from that. Do it every day between now and Monday at 10:59 a.m. so we can get our numbers up there, because we don't like being number 2. We'll take it, but we do not like being number 2. We really want to be number 1, and it's not good to be that close. So we want to get in there. And as the mayor said, last year we did win Best Historic City, so this is just a natural fit.
Right, exactly. Aside from just the beauty of winning, it pays dividends to us, because I cannot quantify to you how much in lodging taxes and retail sales tax that have derived to us from the fact that we were the best historic city in all of the United States. And some of the same cities that are with us today, competing against us, we were competing against, and we won at the very last moment. So I encourage you to do that. It is worth dollars and cents to us, and we will continue to market it any way that we can. The last thing that I will close on is using this bully pulpit. I did it a couple of weeks ago. Frankly, hopefully it helps relative to food deserts. But the legislature's back in town, and while we love having special sessions in Montgomery and all of the dollars that they spend doing that special session, it is time to pass the budget. And I know that the legislature and the governor are working hard on that, but the conversation I want to have is about prison reform. Because while new facilities